Hello and welcome to yet a very special edition of Eye on Harvey with Mayor Kellogg. I'm your in-studio host, Sean Howard, and I'm so honored to have you here in your living rooms as this is our very first show. And what other way to start our very first show than to have my good friend and your mayor, the Honorable Mayor Eric Kellogg, to come and join us. Mayor, thank you so much.
How you doing, Mr. Howard?
It's an exciting time. You've always talked about collaboration, and now you're talking about transparency to our viewers. Talk about the importance of Eye on Harvey and what gave you the vision to do it.
Well, I think it's very important that we have not only collaborative initiatives, but we must disseminate information to the public. This is a great opportunity to provide the viewing audience, but more importantly, the citizens of this great city an opportunity to see some of the great things that's occurring in the city of Harvey. We're going to be interviewing various entities. We're going to be talking about initiatives in our great city, and this is just a great program that's going to really focus on some of the great things that's happening in our great city.
You know, and you're right, it is an excellent platform because you're going to hear from some aldermen who have dual roles in our city, in the library and park districts, and we're going to just, for our viewers, we just admonish you to please tune in to Channel 4 because we're going to bring you the best in intergovernmental operations right here in the city of Harvey. So tune in on a week-to-week basis. But we're here today, Mr. Mayor, because recently you brought the Chicagoland media in for a press conference to launch your new summer safety initiative. Got to hear about it.
I think it was very important to, again, partner with the aldermen, my department heads, to talk about some of the great things that we're getting ready to launch in this great city. One of the things that we implemented was a grid process where we bring all our particular aldermen, our department heads, all the resources under one roof, and we address some of the particular ills in that particular grid section. And it's been working.
So let's not hesitate. Let's go right into that particular press conference, Mr. Mayor, where we invited the Chicagoland media to launch the mayor's new program, his new summer safety initiative. Let's take a quick look and we'll be right back.
Mr. Howard, certainly like to thank the members of the media for coming out to partake in today's collaborative initiative between the City of Harvey, our elected officials, and our department heads. Today we are putting forth a very strong program to change the landscape of the City of Harvey by working very collaboratively with the aldermen. As you can see, we have Alderman Price with us today. We also have our department heads who are formulating this partnership to ensure that this will be a very safe summer by implementing proactive measures such as our summer program where we provide safe and structured activities for our youth, but more importantly, focusing on the abandoned homes to ensure that our students and our children, our elderly citizens have an opportunity to walk down their street in a very safe manner. But more importantly, when you look at the open spaces that has been created by our Department of Public Works with respect to cleaning out the vacant areas, we certainly want to commend our Public Works Department under the leadership of Mr. Sepik as well as Mr. Fisher. But more importantly, our police are working on crime initiatives such as community policing to ensure that our citizens are safe this summer. I'm very excited about this collaborative approach to change the landscape of our city. By working collaboratively together, we can accomplish a lot.
To the administration and the mayor, this is a day that I've been speaking with the mayor about very strongly. We found out through studies that the city of Harvey has one of the highest rates of sexual predators in our town, and one way to combat that is definitely to start demolishing and boarding up homes that are unsafe. I really appreciate the mayor's initiative along with his administration to aggressively attack this issue, and I'm looking forward to working with our city to make it as safe as possible for our residents. I thank you all very much. Thank you, Mayor.
I'd like to thank you again for coming out. The collaborative effort that has been put forth under the direction of the mayor involves the police department, public works, street department, and planning department. It's essential that this collaboration exists because, as you can see, we have some abandoned homes and some overgrown properties. From a police perspective, those are unsafe conditions. We have our police officers on a daily basis reporting any unsafe conditions such as homes to our planning department. We have a speedy board up process, and from that point with the decline that we've seen in the crime rate in Harvey over the past 6 or 7 years, I'd have to say that this type of project is significant to keep that type of decline going.
The mayor has implemented a very strong and stringent and expedient program for demolition in the city of Harvey. Due to the housing crisis that our country suffered, we had tons of abandoned and vacant properties. He implemented a four-pronged approach, first by identifying the properties, contacting the property owners and the banks to have them come in and give them the opportunity to either rehab or occupy these homes. He's implemented the vacant property registration as well to assist us in this process. So in our vacant and abandoned property program, we are aggressively going after the banks to have them either board up or demolish the properties. If not, the city is taking on the responsibility to go out, have these properties removed to ensure that our community is safe and that we continue to beautify our community.
I'm Chief Jason Bell. Under the mayor's direction, the fire department is pounding the mantra, ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And what we're doing is we're out and about and we have a project called Project Install. And this project is designed to get at least one smoke alarm in every home in the city. As of today's date, we have installed over 130 smoke alarms, and we will continue to do so. Also, in collaboration with the water department, we're out every day checking hydrants, making sure the hydrants are flow tested, painted, and greased. So the fire department is a public service to the city, and we'll be out daily in these streets pounding that mantra of fire prevention.
So, Mayor, obviously, that was a very well-informed press conference to which many of the viewers can appreciate. Now, as you launch this initiative out, I noticed Mr. Fisher, your superintendent of public works, was there, and we had an opportunity to kind of tag along with Mr. Fisher, but why is it that public works plays such a pivotal role in this operation?
Well, I think it's key that when you try to clean up a city comprehensively, you need your entire departments, but more importantly, the aldermen have been echoing some of the concerns that I see on a daily basis as we ride throughout the city. We want to return the city of Harvey back to the oasis of stability that it once shared years ago. But we need every hand on deck. We need all the residents, we need the aldermen, we need the business sector, the schools, to take an active role in this total operation, because when you beautify your city, then you can begin to lure businesses back into your community. But more importantly, the home ownership will start taking pride in their community. So this is a great initiative to clean our great city up.
And what our viewers would notice, you have summer youth workers out there.
Well, I think it's key. You know, one of the things that we try to do in the city of Harvey is try to employ our youth, give them an opportunity to participate in a meaningful job opportunity. Because when you employ the youth, what it does, it helps curtail some of the crime. It gives them something to participate, a meaningful job where they actually can pay for their back to school clothes and books. So again, it's just a great initiative.
Right. And to our viewers, what you're about to see here, I believe, is just tremendously fascinating, because you get to see your tax dollars at work. So without further ado, Mr. Mayor, let's go right into the streets of Harvey, following Superintendent Fisher, as we now take upon the street operations of the city of Harvey under the mayor's new summer safety initiative. Let's take a look.
Mayor Eric Kellogg has put together, and he's got an area of cleaning up the city here, and he's got areas what they call grids. So what we do, we come in certain areas and clean up alleys, cut grass throughout the city. These are some of the initiatives that he's trying to do here throughout the city. So as you see behind me, we have just put up a no dumping sign right here, and I'm encouraging and asking the residents, if they see any illegal dumping or whatever it is, to call City Hall or call my office. Once you keep these lots clean for the city, then it doesn't attract rodents, possums, and then also if it's vacant houses, whatever it is, you don't want no vandalism all around, or you might have like little kids playing next door, or somebody might want to pull somebody over there, something, whatever. These are some of the concerns that we're trying to do as far as keeping these vacant lots clean, and houses also the same way. Well, on the normal circumstances right now, our dumping fees are anywhere about $500,000 a year, and it's steady going up all the time because it's fly dumping. All we just want to know, get the information so we can press charges and go after the ones that are doing all the illegal dumping here in the city of Harvey.
Here at the City of Harvey Water Department, we are bringing the City of Harvey Water Department into the 21st century. By bringing the City of Harvey Water Department into the 21st century, we are now implementing ways for our residents in the City of Harvey to take advantage of online billing, meaning that they will not only be able to come into the village to pay their bills, but they will be able to pay their bills from the comfort of their home, which is a great initiative put on by the mayor. And this initiative will not only allow the city to be in a win-win position, but also the residents, because now residents can save money on stamps and the city can help move into a paperless environment, which means that now all residents will be able to get their bills via e-bill systems, which would allow them to pay their bills on time at a faster pace than they would ever have if they had to come into the village. So when it was a time when you had to come into the village to pay a bill, now all you have to do is click a button on your online billing system and you will be able to pay your bill instantly from the comfort of your home.
While outstanding coverage on Public Works, they've done their due diligence under your program.
Well, I think that when you talk about Public Works, Public Works really is one of the main focal points of our administration, with the police department being the #1 priority to ensure that the residents are safe. When you look at the streets with this comprehensive plan that we're putting in place, you're starting to see some change. And that's one of the things that not only I, but the aldermen are working very, very hard in their particular wards, trying to bring about some change. So again, I'm very ecstatic about this new comprehensive approach to changing the culture and the climate of City of Harvey.
Yeah, you know, you kind of touched on public safety, and it's an excellent segue into this next clip, because obviously the police and fire department are the essentials to any city, and here, under the direction of Chief Eads and Chief Bell, respectively, they've done a good job embracing this program, connecting with Public Works, and moving out.
Well, great point. One of the things that I'm very pleased with is that crime is starting to actually be reduced in the City of Harvey under Chief Eads' watch. They've put in place some proactive programs. They're beginning to put in place very aggressive community policing initiatives, which is a part of the grid, where they're going out and actually talking with the residents, and they're getting information to assist them in some of their efforts to curtail crime. So I'm extremely pleased.
And one of the things that our viewers will see, even with Chief Bell of the fire department, I mean, they're out there installing smoke detectors in various facilities that actually need them.
Absolutely. And I think anytime you talk about proactive initiatives, they're deterrents to negativity. So I certainly want to applaud Chief Bell as well as Chief Eads for an outstanding job that they're doing.
Well, with that being said, let's go right now. This next clip, you'll see the hardworking men and women of Harvey's public safety departments. And without further ado, let's go right to it.
Well, it's truly an honor to first work for the Harvey Police Department, and it is also an honor to let the citizens and residents of Harvey know that they have a department that is very well equipped, and all of our officers are, I consider, the best trained officers in the south suburbs, and investigators. The department, we currently have a mobile command unit. There are only 2 departments, ourselves and South Holland. We were the first to obtain this vehicle. This vehicle gives us the capability of going out in the field for 2 or 3 days, and the capability of handling just about any incident that arises.
Harvey Police, Operator 855 speaking, how may I help you?
We have a state-of-the-art 911 center. This center provides, this is where all fire calls, all calls for emergency medical assistance, and all service calls for the City of Harvey are all dispatched from this location. Well, the Operation Beautification and Grid program that we're currently working in under the direction of Mayor Kellogg, this program enables our police officers to meet one-on-one as we're going block to block, beautifying and talking to residents one by one from block to block. It gives these individuals or citizens an opportunity. They may be uncomfortable in a full open setting to discuss some matters with the police department, as evident by the fact that on just last week, a resident alerted us of possible narcotic sales, which led to the arrest of a subject who resided in Tinley Park. However, while allegedly rehabbing a home in Harvey, he was merely using that as a front for his drug sales. subject was arrested, and that was because we were this block-to-block Operation Beautification program, which involves police, street department, planning department, and fire department.
We come out and install those smoke detectors in their house. We don't let them install it themselves. We want to make sure it's put in properly.
The battery has two leads on it. One is bigger than the other. So when you insert it into the smoke detector, it's very simple. There's a big area where the big lead goes and then a smaller area for the smaller lead.
So how often should we change it?
You should change it at least twice a year. They tell you when the time changes is when you change your batteries. So in the fall and then in the spring, remember to change your smoke detector battery. So then all you do is insert it like that and then just close it up and then it's all ready to go.
I really appreciate it. It shows me that Harvey loves people and that they're interested in the well-being of people, and I appreciate that.
I'm glad to come out and help them get fire safe.
Wow, kudos to the hard-working men and women of the Harvey Police Department as well as the Fire Department. They risk their lives every day, Mayor.
Absolutely. It's just a joy to see the collaborative initiative that the Harvey Fire Department and more importantly the Harvey Police Department are implementing with respect to ensuring that the residents are actively involved in terms of working with block clubs, talking with the residents, they're providing information, and this whole new collaborative approach is really working for the great city of Harvey.
And I'm amazed because some of the admiration and kudos that you received throughout the years is that you changed the structure of your economic development and planning department, and now you sort of moved them into this new initiative. Talk about some of the changes that you had to put forth, as we call downstairs in City Hall, to now they're actually participating in drug raids, all these wonderful operations that you put forth. Talk about some of that.
Well, I think one of the things that we've done, when you look at the executive branch of government and the legislative branch of government, we have worked with the aldermen to ensure that economic development is forthcoming in our great city. They attend committee meetings. We have an outstanding planning director in Mrs. Rufus, who's doing some tremendous things in terms of recruiting and sustaining and retaining businesses to come to our community. But more importantly, we're identifying businesses as well as buildings and absentee landlords in our community who are creating havoc in our community by being absentee landlords. And so what happened, we put together a list and identified those individuals who are, shall we say, problematic in our community.
You know, and it speaks well to this next clip because we're seeing inspectors and we're seeing a lot of inspections done throughout the city and the code enforcement people out. So without any further delay, let's go right and look at Mrs. Rufus as she goes right into the streets of Harvey assisting the police and fire department under this wonderful new summer safety initiative.
Okay. Right, and one of the things that was a concern to some of the residents was that there was, you know, infestation of rodents. The other issue with respect to these absentee landlords. So we can probably identify who the landlord is so that we can begin to go after the landlord to make sure that the landlord is not harboring or renting to individuals who are doing ill will in our city.
Absolutely. In 2004, the mayor enacted the landlord-tenant regulations, which forces landlords to have yearly inspections. So if they don't have yearly inspections, we initiate $500 fines, and they can be $500 fines every day for each day they are not licensed or registered with the city of Harvey. If violations are found, each one of those different infractions carry a separate fine, and there are daily fines that can continue. So if rodent infestation is one of the issues we find, then that is definitely a public health issue, and we can begin to move people out of the units immediately.
You can tell by the condition of the building. There's some major issues with the building, but more importantly, it's a drug haven, and we're not going to allow that in our community.
Now this particular building, it appears to have multiple units, and you're going to do a complete physical inspection of the building, not?
Yes, sir. Tanya Roof is our director of planning, along with the chief. Will do a complete walkthrough to ensure that number one, the children and the residents are living in a safe and a habitable building.
Good, good. And we can eventually turn this building back over to the residents in this block.
That's our goal. That's our goal.
So nobody should be living in here. There's a loud smell. You have an issue with roaches? I smell them.
O'Neal, but man, I be hooping and hollering about this. This ain't nothing new.
Hey, Brigade, how you doing?
It's nothing
How you
new.
doing?
See, you know my wife.
Oh, you know
it
I
ain't
do.
nothing new.
Stay here, buddy.
So you need to probably call him on the phone and tell him that I'm about to shut your building down. And I'm giving them 72 hours to get it done.
All these units occupied?
1, 2.
Who lives in?
It's only 2 that I believe, and that's downstairs that I know that they really not.
Who lives in them?
Living in.
How you doing, ma'am?
Hello, ma'am. How are you? My name is Ms.
couple of
Rufus.
my
I'm the
neighbors
director
up
of
there,
planning for
but
the city of Harvey. This property has not been inspected.
This floor and
There's
up
an
is
issue with rodent
occupied.
infestation. There's security issues at the building. And I have to post it for non-occupancy until the landlord gets in touch with us.
See, the problem is we have these absentee landlords who don't live in our community, who disrespect our community and rent buildings like this to the citizens of Harvey. It's unfair to the citizens. It's unfair to the city of Harvey. So we're going to hold the landlords accountable.
Right, and it appears they live in communities that are lavish and they wouldn't live like this themselves.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, Mayor, you were speaking to some of the tenants, and I just noticed you felt compassion for the tenants. I mean, it's obviously over 90 to 100 degrees in there.
Oh, absolutely.
How are they living in there?
Well, see, that's one of my concerns. As you know, we have heating and cooling centers. We have a cooling center located at our Harvey Community Center. But more importantly, it's very incumbent upon the landlord to ensure that this building has some type of air or some type of fanning system so that these children will not be subjected to this. You know, I'm appalled. I'm appalled.
And Mayor, you called it at 6 o'clock. You came through at 8:45. What are your reflections?
Well, one of the things I told the residents that we would come out in full force to ensure that some of the concerns would be addressed. And today I'm extremely pleased that the Harvey Police Department, Mrs. Rufus, Chief Eads, and all the police officers came out to ensure that the residents of this particular block would be able to have their block back. So we're returning this block back to the people of 145th and Union.
We're going to make sure that we are having close contact with all of these landlords. They do have an issue with rodent infestation because we were able to smell it from the exterior by just knocking on the door. So we'll continue to come out, whether it's 5 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night, to make sure that we remedy these situations in the city of Harvey. And it's something we'll continue to do.
And a side note, the residents today, obviously they're going to express joy tomorrow. You're assuring complete full follow-up as it relates to this particular
Absolutely, and I can kind of mention this. I had a meeting with the inspectors. Upon follow-up, what they do if they go to a house and they see that this is an issue, what they will do is to directly call back to the office and say, place this on my schedule. I need to be on the follow-up on this day. So we know automatically they don't forget to go and follow up from the days that they told the residents that they'll be back.
Well, again, the third wing of the operation, Economic Development and Planning. I want to close out the show, this particular show, just on a more personal note. Those of us who have been around you have seen your dedication and your loyalty to the city of Harvey. Upon being elected in 2003, you inherited a lot of things that was unfair for you, for any mayor to come and walk into. Can you just talk about your experiences here in the city of Harvey, your family, and why things like this particular operation really make sense for the public and why it's so near and dear to your heart?
Well, again, being born and raised in this great city, I had the opportunity to go away to college, and I came back, I like to say, armed with education and information to bring about transformation. And what you see on 154th is something that was really near and dear to my heart. I've seen individuals who are out there who were struggling with drug and alcoholic issues. That happens in my own family. And so when you ride and see these men and women who need some assistance, that's why I wanted to put in place Operation Eradication, to assist them, to give them some counseling, because I saw when the police arrest them, the next day they're back doing the same thing. But these are individuals' mothers, daughters, sons, fathers. We want to get them reacclimated back into society where they can begin to make a real impact in society. I think it's important.
You know, we've seen so much progress. We've seen strip malls. We've seen new housing. We've seen manufacturing businesses come into Harvey. We've seen the demolition of Dixie Square Mall, all within the scope of within 10 years. A lot of work, considering you don't receive a lot of federal help. You don't get a lot of help from other agencies, and you're doing more with less. Talk about some of the challenges of doing more with less.
Well, again, it truly has been a labor of love, but more importantly, I've been working very collaboratively, again, with my my elected officials, my aldermen, who are certainly at the forefront of assisting me in this revitalization and transformation process. When you are faced with resources as it dries up, you have to begin to find creative ways to find new revenue streams. You have to rely on the citizens to assist in cleaning up their particular parcels and property. And I certainly want to commend the great citizens of Harvey who are participating in that particular effort to clean their property up. Because when they don't, it creates an extra burden on the city. When you ride through the city, you see some great things that's occurring in the city, and certainly it's just not me, but it's a collaborative effort between, again, I have to go back and say my aldermen and my administrator, the city employees, but more importantly the residents who are at the forefront of bringing about this new transformation.
And part of that new transformation is Eye on Harvey with Mayor Kellogg.
Yes.
It's our first show, and I'm honored that you would have me on as a co-host as we go week to week, day by day, looking for new opportunities for residents to come on and express their views, our department heads, even collaborating with the schools, inviting them on a weekly basis for you, our viewers, so you'll know firsthand how things operate within the city of Harvey. Mayor, you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you, Howard.
I know our viewers look forward to having you every week. And is there any lasting impression you want to say to our viewers? And I'll allow you to close us out.
Well, I'm certainly very ecstatic about some of the entities in our great city. We just had a young man who has become the president of the Harvey Library Board, and certainly I'm going to try to interview him. Certainly we're going to look at the other entities within our city that we will attempt to get them on and talk about some of the great initiatives that they're doing. We certainly need the residents to take a very active role in their city. Contact us at 210-5300 extension 6 if there's some concerns. One of the things that we have been able to do recently, the citizens are really contacting the police department, they're contacting the fire department, and more importantly, they're contacting City Hall, contacting me as the mayor. I have the opportunity now, since I retired after 34 years as an educator in this great city, to work full time. And I'm working harder now, I'm putting in more hours now than I did due to the fact that I'm retired. But I feel great because I have an opportunity to interact with the aldermen, with the residents. It's just a great opportunity to be the mayor of this great city.
Great. And on that note, you've been watching us right here on Eye on Harvey, right here in the council chambers of the city of Harvey. We have a wonderful mayor, wonderful city council, an excellent opportunity to bring you firsthand information, once again, what goes on here in the city of Harvey. I'm Sean Howard, this is Mayor Kellogg, and you've been watching us right here on Channel 4, Eye on Harvey, and as we always say, keep the peace.